He opened a package. It was a book, but hollowed out and fitted with a bomb. The explosion killed him instantly. The assassination was widely attributed to Agenter Press, a pseudo-press agency that was actually a front for Portuguese intelligence and their network of right-wing mercenaries. They couldn't defeat him in battle, so they sent his death through the mail. Our final story takes us to the dawn of a new era in a country whose struggle captivated the world, South Africa. The year is 1993. Apartheid is on its deathbed. Nelson Mandela has been released, and the country is stumbling towards its first democratic election. In this fragile, tense moment, one man stood out as a voice of radical truth and a hero to the masses. His name was Chris Hani. As the former leader of the ANC's armed wing, Umkhonto we Sizwe, and the head of the South African Communist Party, he had impeccable struggle credentials. But it was his charisma and his unwavering connection to the poor that made him a phenomenon. While some leaders were negotiating in boardrooms, Hani was in the townships, speaking the language of the people. He was handsome, passionate, and fiercely intelligent. He consistently polled as the second most popular leader in the country, right behind Mandela himself. For millions of impoverished black South Africans, Hani was the guarantee that freedom would mean more than just the right to vote. He was the promise of economic justice, of land redistribution, of a genuine transformation of a society built on racial inequality. He was seen by many as Mandela's natural successor, the man who would carry the revolution into its next, more difficult phase. This popularity made him a huge threat, not just to the white right wing who feared him, but also potentially to factions within the new political establishment. On Easter weekend in 1993, just a year before the elections, Chris Hani was gunned down in the driveway of his home by a white supremacist. The assassination pushed South Africa to the absolute brink of civil war. While the killer was caught, many South Africans to this day believe the plot was wider, that political forces who feared Hani's uncompromising vision and immense popularity wanted him out of the picture. His death was an act of political fear, an attempt to kill the dream of a truly radical, economically just post-apartheid South Africa before it could even begin. So, Lumumba, Sankara, Cabral, Mumi, Mondlane, Hani. 6 names, 6 stories, 1 tragic pattern. These weren't just politicians, they were possibilities. They represented a road not taken, an Africa that could have been, an Africa that is self-reliant, unified, and truly unapologetically free. And you have to ask yourself, why is this pattern so consistent? Is it just a coincidence that every time a powerful, charismatic, anti-imperialist leader emerges on the continent, they meet a violent, premature end? It starts to look less like a series of unfortunate events and more like a strategy. The forces that benefited from a dependent, fractured Africa didn't just disappear when the colonial flags came down, they adapted.